Got your nose.
Okay, so it's Paula's birthday tonight, so we'll focus on her life, as we always do here at the Home of the Future. Every week, we always focus on... No, every year when it's her
once
birthday.
a year, yeah.
Now, one of the things I was wondering about is poetry. When did that come in? Is that like some kind of teenage angst, or was that later in life?
Yeah, there was some teenage angst, but it also helped me to identify and befriend people. I used to do acrostics for girlfriends, and because it was all girls in my high school. So
what's acrostics?
An acrostic is something like it's Marianne and Jimmy. So I would make a poem that had Marianne and Jimmy as the first M-A. It would be the first.
Oh, that's acrostic.
Right, the first letters. So I would do those acrostics for people, and I would befriend them.
Sure, but that came from angst? That doesn't sound like an angst.
No, my angst poetry was different. I never showed that to anybody. It's like,
never showed it to anyone ever?
I am aware of awareness, the crescendo of critical voices deep in the crust of my vulnerability.
That's really what you wrote?
At age 15, yeah.
But I'm saying, when did poetry hit? You were 15 when it hit?
I think I started writing it because of lyrics. I mean, if music was...
Oh, like those great songs like I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Music was really important, so I loved lyrics, and I think I started writing it. And I think, you know what? Remember Ben Burrows? Ben Burrows in the Buffalo News? They used to have those goofy little poems that he wrote. I don't know if it was actually a Ben Burrows or not, but in the Buffalo News, and I have some of them cut out and put in scrapbooks from when I was a kid. He would write these, silly little rhyming poems that I thought were poetry. And
so you read those when you were a kid?
I read them in the paper, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I don't know if I ever... I think I probably wrote my first poem when I was going through puberty. The troublesome time for young... And
your life has been smooth since puberty, is that correct?
Yeah, it's been as smooth as pebbles.
Pebbles are smooth?
No,
Pebbles Flintstone, she means.
Yeah.
Pebbles are smooth or not smooth?
No, I mean,
so
what's smooth? What's smooth?
So you've been writing poetry for decades, or?
Since I was 13 or something.
And did you ever think about giving it up because it's poetry? Just move on to something better?
I actually do. I actually do give it up on a regular basis.
What did I say? Oh, he must be. Oh, he turned the light off. Okay, I thought he said something bad.
No, it's a way of communicating when I've got a lot of garbage in my head. It's a way of getting it out and processing.
To unload your head.
Yes, exactly.
Can you do it on the spur of the moment, like a new poem right now?
Sure. What do you want me to write a poem about?
I think it'd be nice if you wrote a poem about how wonderful your birthday was today. It has been a wonderful day. It's been like one thing on top of another, right?
Yeah, it has been one thing on top of another. Yeah.
All day long.
It was. Yeah. I don't know if I want to sort of.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's so personal. We went to a racist movie today.
Well, we did.
And,
meet the Patels.
We went to Wendy's and we went to a
Goodwill
Burger King.
Hell.
Burger King and Wendy's.
And Goodwill. We went to Goodwill.
Day.
Don't forget Goodwill.
Why don't you write a poem about your cat, George?
I have written poems.
So you can't do things on a sperm of the moment with poetry.
I don't think I want to.
You keep saying sperm of the moment.
Yeah, he does. He always says it that way. He likes it. It entertains
So you
him.
actually need to have a pencil in your hand, a pen in your hand, or be typing. Is that
correct?
I
have to be thinking. Yeah, and
You're not thinking right now?
Not particularly. No.
Oh. I thought you were always thinking. That's what I thought I liked about you. And it turns out you're not thinking right now.
No, I'm not analyzing right now. I'm not trying to come up with words that can describe ways of feeling.
I mean, if you had, in your life...
the way my senses work.
At this point now, you've come to this point where on Saturday nights you have the Salon Dubai here with Salon Bombay with me and Richard and Michael. And do you ever wish that you could just get rid of one of us? And who would it be?
No,
which of the three of us is the most expendable?
No,
obviously it can't be me. I know it's not me.
No,
so it's Richard and Michael.
There's a feeling of acceptance.
Do you feel feeling acceptance from Richard and Michael?
Yeah, I feel acceptance in this place. This is a good place for me. Don't you feel it's a good place for you?
Yeah,
Sperlac?
It's a beautiful place for me.
Okay,
it's the home of the future. All right, tell me about some other aspects of your life. I mean, you've had relationships over the years. Is the relationship with me, being married to me, the best one so far?
I told you, you're my favorite man.
So it was the best It's the best. I know I'm your favorite man, but is it the best relationship?
Yes, it is.
Could anyone be better than me?
Because I never had a relationship before where first I had emotional intimacy with somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand that until until you and I were friends for a long time.
Right. I wonder if these guys have ever had emotional intimacy with anybody. What about you, Michael?
I'm just thinking about the fact that it's down to Richard and me that we're going to get offed. Because you're already the favorite guy, so Richard, I mean, it's like
No,
you and me.
I'm not offing anybody.
She's not going to get rid of either of you.
I'm not. I have.
Richard, have you had emotional intimacy?
Are you thinking like we're on a desert island? And she's the only woman?
And she's going to throw one of us off?
Oh no. He's just no. He do. I don't know. I think.
Greg said, "Are you going to do away with somebody in the room?"
No, there's nobody here
And
I want to
since
do away
he's
with.
the favorite person. It's down to you and me.
So now there's a
not
competition.
really.
Is it?
We're both
This
of
is
us.
what is this? A reality show now? Who is going to get kicked out of the home of the
Yeah, it's
future?
big sister.
And why? One of your things in life, Paul, I know very well, is you're not too big on people. And what happened? Did people hurt you during your life, or is that too personal?
No, it's just that there's not enough.
not that interesting, right?
There's not enough emotional space for everybody.
Yeah, you only got a limited amount of emotional space.
I've only got
you got a
right.
smidgen, right?
You know, I'm not good at. I'm not good at emotional intimacy, and
Even though I've taught you for 20 years,
yes, but
that
it's
hasn't
difficult.
helped shape and move you.
It's difficult to transport that to other people all the time. I mean, I just
Yeah,
don't have
it's
enough.
hard.
I just there's not enough of me left.
But I mean, generally, you don't think people are very interesting, right?
I think a
They're
lot.
kinda duller. Most people are dullards.
I wouldn't say most, but I'm saying there's a lot of people that I don't find interesting in conversation. There's just they don't talk about ideas. They've got their priorities are different than mine.
I like ideas.
I know.
I also, but I always kind of wondered, what's the fascination you have with going to thrift stores and looking through old junky clothes? Did that come from some kind of trauma?
No,
You got
that
post-traumatic
came from
stress disorder.
That came from.
I think it probably is, Richard.
When
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
When I was a teenager, I used to get a lot of clothing from my mother would take me shopping whenever something horrible would happen. So I used to get new clothes all the time. So I really like clothes, and when I was really broke and on welfare and raising a child, I couldn't afford to go shopping, and all my clothes were like kind of getting ratty looking. And Gloria said, "Look, I come from a big family. We shopped at thrift shops. You're going to love this." And I'm like, "No way am I going to love this." So I put a great big floppy hat on and sunglasses, and I went to the Goodwill on William, which is no longer there.
What do you mean? You were hiding?
Oh my God, I was so humiliated. What if somebody
people
would
were gonna
see
see
me?
you at a-
What if somebody would see
Well,
me
they couldn't
walking
be
in?
that. You see you outside going in there?
Yeah. So
What would they do? Your imagination. What were they going to do
because
to
in
you?
high school, whenever
Razz
somebody
you?
had something on that was crummy, they'd say, "Where'd you get that Goodwill?"
Oh, yeah, right.
You know. So I had that impression in my head about what that would be like, and so I'm in this
Ridiculed.
Goodwill,
Yeah.
and they had fill a bag for $1 sale, and I did have $1. So I looked around at all this stuff, and I found all these amazing clothes, and then I found out later on that you're not going to have the same thing on that everybody does, and you develop a sense of style instead of fashion, because fashion is imposed on you, whereas style is something that you create yourself. So
That's how I've always thought.
so
Buffalo Bills. Go Buffalo Bills.
I developed my own style, and I love it. It's like treasure hunting.
So when you go shopping, you're looking for your style.
I'm looking for something that suits me personally. I don't care if it's in fashion.
No. You've never cared about fashion.
I like things that are, interesting looking, and I like to sell them to people and make them happy. When I find something that I can sell to somebody and for a good price and make them happy, and they're like so thrilled when they get it, like, "I can't believe you sold this to me for $15. Like, that makes me happy.
What you're wearing today, though, that peanut and almonds on a string bracelet, is that the kind of thing that does
like
that fit your
this.
style?
I do. I think it's very organic looking.
What happens?
I like
it's all
organic.
black. Oh, there we go.
It's organic, very organic.
So, Michael, you bought Paula for her birthday this peanuts and almonds on a stick bracelet because you thought it would fit her style?
I think it's.
You saw it being her style?
It says Paula.
says
I mean, it
Paula.
just
Did you feel that way
says
when he gave it to you?
Paula. That's
Yeah.
what it said.
So do you consider yourself a weirdo or a freak or what?
Are you talking to me?
No, because she was going to
talking
say
to me?
with the bracelet talking to her.
I am the.
Wait, was this a
I'm
fight in
an-
the car?
No, I'm an old child.
Old child. What does that mean?
Old soul.
Can you put that into?
No, I'm an old child. I am.
So you're not. You're an adult, but you have a childlike.
I'm trying to remain captivated by life because I want to enjoy it until the moment I drop over dead.
And go to heaven.
And then go to heaven, right? Yeah, with Jesus.
With Jesus, yes, good old Jesus.
Richard, do you remember? I mean, what do you? Forget about memories. What's your opinion of Paula? You got an opinion on her?
I have an opinion on something that was said here earlier.
Oh, go. You don't have an opinion on Paula? There's no opinion on her yet? After knowing her for decades?
I want to say this before I forget it.
Okay, go ahead.
Paula said if she went into a Goodwill, she would be afraid that somebody would see her.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, but what are people, I mean, so what if somebody saw you? What do you think they're going to say?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because I think what Paula was referring to is the people don't have to say anything. Just the fact that you know that they have seen you creates enough in your mind
It does.
so that they never even have to say anything because your own mind will do it all by itself.
Because you have your own
True. So you really
perceptions
you can't really
of
go.
what.
I would like to talk a little bit about where I learned this. It's from a story. I don't know if you want to know the author, but I'll tell you the story. A person tries on women's clothing in private and gets tremendous joy of looking
This is
at
a man?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Looking at himself in a mirror.
Yeah.
And he's loving this and he has fun doing this all
Don't
the
tell
time.
people about my life.
We're not talking about you.
Oh, all right.
No, he is
Go
talking
on.
about you.
Go on.
And then one day, while he's doing this, he hears a squeak. And he says, what is it? Squeaking? What could that possibly be? And he realizes that's the sound of the mail slot being lifted up. And he says, what if somebody lifted it up with their finger and looked at me? Now that knowledge of someone looking at him changes his pleasure into fear and anxiety. All because someone looked at him.
It's not socially acceptable, and he knows it's not socially acceptable, but he's enjoying it, and that is that's valid. The enjoyment is valid, but also he's aware that it's not socially acceptable.
Wasn't socially.
Well, I mean, it's still in most situations it's still considered odd. You have to really think about that. I mean,
Oh, wait a minute. He did it at work.
not everyone.
He did it at work for 15 years.
Right.
I
Michael
didn't do
did
it for 15 years.
Let's see a
Not
shot of him.
everyone. Not everyone.
Shout out Michael, Richard.
is.
See this guy right here. For 15 years, he dressed in women's clothing, and even though he's a man, and went to work.
I'm
and
only 14 years
and he
old.
And he called himself Denise. He came into work one day and said, "My name is now Denise," right?
Yeah, Denise.
Call me Denise from now on. Every time everyone was like, "What the hell are you talking about, Michael? Call you Denise."
It wasn't just. It's just one day I come in and it's,
Oh, like the first day you
it
came
was
in with a
gradual. It was
skirt. Then the next day you had a blouse. The next day you had panties on, and then
panties. Yeah.
And then the next day you had pantyhose.
You
and,
could at least keep the skirt on, can't you?
Yeah. Well, I thought you would have went further. Just had the panties on, no skirt.
So when are you going to get rid of the penis?
So what about you? Where do you find happiness besides me and the cat, Paula? Any other place?
I like nature.
Oh yeah, you like nature. Why do you like nature? It's kind of boring.
It's not. It's. I like being. I
Like
like being
communing with it?
outside because it reminds me that I'm an animal.
Wow. So I'm married to an animal.
Racist.
How's that a racist?
Because she doesn't,
No,
she doesn't like humans.
Wouldn't be racist.
That's
What would
not
that
racist.
You
be?
already said before.
You don't
Yeah.
know what racist is, do you,
No.
Michael? You don't even know what it means.
Sure I do. It's NASCAR.
That's racing.
Oh. All right, I guess I didn't know what it was.
So you like walking around out in the woods and you get something out of that.
Yeah, I
You like
feel.
the
I feel
wind?
connected to it.
But are you really connected to it?
Yeah,
Oh, because you're an animal.
I am an animal.
What about people? So someone like me, I'm not an animal. I'm more of a refined,
No, you're-
civilized human being.
We're all animals, and
I'm an animal too?
The thing is, being
Richard's
out.
an animal?
We're so disconnected from where we're supposed to
Wow.
be that we're all we're kind of doomed.
You must have told me this before. I must ask you, but did you enjoy the 20th century more, or do you enjoy the technological achievements of the 21st century more? Do you like the 21st century more with everything that's happening, all this crazy technology, or did you like the simpler times back in the 20th century?
I like.
Because you experienced both.
I like technology for some things, but I don't.
Like what kind of technology do you like?
I like.
I notice a lot
being
of
able
times.
to
A lot of
process
times you're at
my
the
pictures.
But a lot of times you're at the computer and you're saying, "What the fuck? I hate this stupid computer." Is that true?
It's true.
You do that like every day. I would say.
I know.
She does it 365 days a year, Richard. She's at the computer and she's saying, "What the fuck? It's that stupid computer. What a fucking pain in the ass." Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, then your question should have been, do you like technology when it's not working?
No,
Yeah,
I
do you
don't
like
like it when
technology
it's,
when it's not
not working. I don't like it at all. I think it's.
So you do like
I
it when
think
it's working?
frustrating. I get easily frustrated by little things, but I have a great big capacity for huge disasters.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Some you had. I think it's because you had huge disasters in your life when you were young, and you said, "What can I do?" So you just got upset. You get upset about the
Yeah,
PPE and stuff.
No,
that makes
she
a lot
bought
of sense.
clothes. Do you associate new clothing with disasters? Because you said every time
no.
something bad happened, my mother took me shopping and bought me clothes.
No,
yeah,
that wasn't.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think that no, I don't associate it with disasters. I associate it. It's soothing. It's soothing. It takes away some of the pain of what happened.
So it's like getting ice cream and
right.
Yeah,
so
okay.
when I go shopping, even if I don't buy anything, just looking through. I mean, I don't get any joy from being in a real store.
Yeah.
Because it's all too new and
Commercials,
bright.
too commercial.
But I do get a lot of pleasure from looking at. I mean, and sometimes I just look at something and I'll say, "Oh my God, somebody wore this," and they probably wore it. And I come up with this whole life story for the person who wore that item of clothing, and I just stand there and I'll just stare at it, and all these things will come flashing into my head about the person who wore this, what they were like, where they wore it, how they felt about themselves at that moment, and it's got to be something really unusual to kind of set that off. But
that bracelet,
yeah,
I didn't buy that. That was given to me
by the Lord.
Okay,
by
the Lord. He said.
No, by the poet laureatess of the United States, Angela Mayo.
Of course.
This was given to you by Angela Mayo.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Who?
Yeah, forgive me.
Angela Mayo.
Is she the poet laureate?
No, she was. She's not now.
Is she dead?
No, she's not dead.
They
No,
change
not
it.
that.
She gave you right. They change it once in a while, like the
And
president.
they change it with presidents, right? Or is it yearly?
Don't know.
every 4 years. So why did she give that to you?
Because she kept getting confused with the actual poet laureatess. I mean, she was like off her nut, but I mean, it wasn't Maya Angelou. It was Angela Mayu. I said. She thought she was the poet.
Thought, not actually the poet laureatess.
And I said, "You mean Maya Angelou?" And she said, "No, Angela Mayu."
And okay, so
What the fuck kind of weirdness
She's
is that?
related to Stefan Mihailu.
I see.
So Michael, you're obviously the one she's kicking off the show.
Yeah,
Gotta be one of them.
I'm working. I'm kind of trying to.
Well,
add to that.
no.
I got her a
that's
drum
fine.
today. Where's your drum?
My drum is in the other room. It was annoying Richard, so I didn't want to.
Richard, were you
annoy
annoyed by her
Richard.
drumming?
Just because I left the room to go into
Yeah,
next.
that's what she's assuming. Yeah,
It was an assumption.
is it true or not?
I had something that I had to get done.
No, I know.
So it wasn't the drum.
I know, but I don't. I know. When I'm by myself and I can drum with abandon, then I will be happy.
Do you want to treat us to some drum work now?
I don't think that it's necessary, really, unless you'd like me to.
Hey, it's
I don't
your
have.
birthday. If you
I
don't
need
want a drum, then you don't
no,
have to
I don't.
drum.
I don't want to drum right now.
We went to the drum store. We had a wonderful experience with C.W. Dunbar.
Yeah,
He was
I
really
asked
nice.
him if he was related to Frank, and he's
He said
not.
no. He said he's from Oregon, and he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
That was a good time at the Guitar Center. You ever been to the Guitar Center?
Which one did you go to?
It's over
On Niagara Falls
I
Boulevard.
went to that one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice, Michael.
I thought you were going to a record thing today.
No, we didn't
No,
do
we
that.
didn't
had a
do
lot of
that.
things going on. We went to a racist movie and
Did I go to the guitar store?
the Guitar Center.
No,
Oh.
All right.
I don't do
They
that
have. They
anymore.
sell soundtracks.
Is there anything that
They do not.
either of you are curious about that you've never had the nerve to ask me? This might be the time.
Well, I want to comment on something you said.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now you said that you pick up a piece of clothing at the thrift store, and you think of the history.
Yeah.
Okay, do you do that with people?
Oh, yeah, all the time. When I'm bored at a party,
That's what the story about the rats was about.
I'll sit in the corner and I will come up with life histories for everybody. When I haven't found somebody interesting to talk to, I'll make up stories in my head about the people.
How could that be what the story of the rats was
Let me
about?
tell them the story, and then I'll explain how
right,
it's connected, all right?
All right.
A scientist, he took a rat and he put it in a cage, and he would ring a buzzer, and whenever the buzzer sounded, he would give the rat a electric charge.
Mm-hmm.
Do this over and over and over again. Then a second rat, totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the buzzer sounded, he would feed the rat.
Mm-hmm.
Then he took the two rats and put them in the same cage and rang the buzzer, but he didn't do anything. One rat went and hid in the corner and cowered in fear. The other rat was all happy and is looking up and is all excited.
Mm-hmm.
Then nothing happened, and the two rats looked at each other. What did each rat think? Did each rat say, "Wow, you're really strange, you must be crazy"? Or did one rat say, "I can't imagine what kind of history you've had to react that way"?
Well,
Now, when I posted this on Facebook, we had people who felt, "Oh, now I must make a joke. I must make something happy."
I hate when people make jokes.
So some people would say something, well, somebody wrote this to me. They said, "Oh, well, that's easy. You know, what we can learn from that story, never get into a cage," thinking that's funny. You see what I mean?
was that Paul Dragem, by the way?
No, that was Lenny Ravel.
Oh, it sounded like something Paul Dragem
He
would
said
say.
he's not anti-Wicca. I talked to him last week on the phone.
Well, maybe he'll show up here.
Yeah.
But when you do that, it's like you stop all the conversation. It's almost like you saying, "I don't want to have anything to do with this conversation."
Yeah, then why join it?
It's like you subvert it, you know?
So subversion bad.
You really think that? Really?
I mean, I don't think it made everybody on Facebook laugh and then say, "Oh, now let's talk about what the story of the rats is really about."
Yeah, I mean, it's just an offhanded comment. I mean, it doesn't really say anything except that this person had thought they were thought they were witty or whatever. I don't know. I don't think that was a funny comment.
I think it just points up the difference in people, because I mean, the first thing I typically think of when I see something, when I see anything, if it's funny, if it's serious, I mean, I won't say in every instance. I mean, I can't pick up the newspaper and read the front page and say, "Oh, I wonder what I can make funny out of this." But if I see stuff on Facebook, and it has the potential to say something, to use it to make, to be humorous, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. It isn't, what can I add to this, and how can I, I mean, that's the kind of person I am. It doesn't. I don't think it makes me incapable of having a serious conversation or to respond to the post in a serious way. It's just that's not the first thing.
You said your first.
It's not the first thing that strikes me.
Yeah, I think what his comment was dismissive, and that's what irritated you.
Oh, that it wasn't his attempt to be humorous; it was his attempt to be dismissive.
It was dismissive. Yeah, I don't know if maybe he did think it was funny, but I think he was just dismissive.
That fuck.
Well, I mean,
What
you're not going to reach everybody with every post. Everybody's going to take something different away from it. He may not have been, not everybody's going to understand what you're posting or why you're posting it.
And people take things differently too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that happen to me repeatedly.
Yeah,
I'll say
because you have Asperger's.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
We're going to talk
What are some of your
part of it.
favorite moments besides giving birth and marrying me? Got other ones besides those top two?
Oh, wait a minute. You said, do you have any questions about me that you...
Yeah, Richard passed on that. What about you? You got a question for her?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Okay.
It might be too personal.
Oh,
go
too personal.
ahead.
Say it's too personal.
I'll let you know.
Well,
You say no comment.
You have a child.
I do.
Were you married before?
Yeah, I was. I was
That's too
married.
personal?
I was married before.
That's sick. You didn't tell me that.
Uh-oh. Fight in the car.
That's a fight in the car.
Fight in the
I was
car.
19 when I got married, and by the time
too.
my daughter was 5 months old, I was divorced.
Now, the thing is, was he...
Well, not divorced. I left him, though.
Ray, is he better than me?
Ray's a really nice guy.
Not better than I am, though.
No, I didn't want to. I shouldn't.
Does he like me?
Is he like you?
Yeah, is that why you married me and Ray? Because we're similar?
No, there's not. There's
so you're going
no
for the 180
similarity.
degrees thing, huh?
No, it wasn't about that. It's just that I married somebody when I was too young, and I was kind of scared, and I was a little desperate.
Do you wish I had a mustache?
No.
You can't even grow a mustache.
No, I can't. But I was saying, does she wish I could grow a mustache?
No, there's no the
You wish I had a mustache
facial
and a
hair.
beard?
Facial hair doesn't do much for me.
Do you know
You hear that, Richard? Facial hair doesn't do much for her. Got that?
Well, I mean, okay. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about hair in general.
You like hair?
If you've got it, you've got it with hair or without hair.
Yeah, right. That's true. But what are some of the other special moments besides giving birth and being married to me? Those 2 moments. What else happened in your life that really stands out? Good things, of course.
Yeah.
Let's keep it clean and good.
Yeah, of course.
Clean and good, Paula. Not bad and nasty and evil.
I
Can think of anything?
the things that come to mind are things that being in Utah.
Oh yeah, because of the mountains.
And no, well, at Bryce Canyon and being in the bottom of Bryce Canyon and looking up.
But not the time with me at Bryce Canyon. Another time at Bryce Canyon.
Well, that was
right?
a horrible, rainy, crappy day.
So
what about the
weather
helicopter ride? The helicopter ride over the Grand
helicopter
Island.
ride over.
When I thought I was going to die, I turned blue and I couldn't move.
That was the only thing I was really worried about you. I thought you were going to die, but otherwise it was fascinating.
Other than me almost dying, you were fascinating.
So he thought he was going to die because the helicopter was going to crash.
I did.
You thought he was going to die because he was turning blue.
I was turning blue, yeah.
He was actually a very odd shade of gray that I've never seen
I'm turning
before.
gray.
Have you never no helicopters before?
You don't know, but the thing is when you're
It's the way
going.
you go in the Grand Canyon, too,
here's
though.
the edge of the canyon, right? And
Yeah.
when you're going over the edge, everything's smooth and la-di-da. But as soon as you hit the canyon, you fall.
Oh.
Like I don't know how many feet, but a lot of feet. You fall.
The helicopter just drops.
Just drops
into the
because
canyon.
because of the change in the atmospheric
Yeah.
pressure,
Yeah.
and so it's horrifying. And a lot of times it turns out, because I'm very spontaneous, he thinks about it. I mean, I'm the kind of person, if I'll just do something because it seems like the right thing to do at the time. And that's what happened with the helicopter ride. Is I want to do this. This is an experience I want to have.
Well, you want to do it the day before, and I agreed to it the day before, though.
Yeah, we were going to.
Spontaneous?
Yeah, we were going to take yeah, there was nothing that could have talked me out of it at that point, unless the helicopter crashed then.
Or Greg dying.
I thought it was the most amazing experience of my life. I thought I was going to die for sure, and it felt like to me, I felt like, I mean, I'm just making it up, of course, but in my mind, I'm thinking, this is like being abducted by aliens. This is like you're on a little flying carpet in the sky, because it was just this little thing, and you're just moving back and forth like this. Like, it doesn't feel like you're going forward. There's this kind of feeling. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's this kind of feeling, like you're just going like this. Like I'm thinking, well, if we're not moving forward, this is gonna be kind of a problem. If we're just going like this, because eventually it's gonna run out of gas, and then we're gonna die. And you're looking, you're in this. I mean, you're going, and they're in the Grand Canyon in a helicopter. It's so, and you're looking, and it's just this little thing, and the door's right here. I mean, it's unfucking believable.
Yeah, it was pretty. That was pretty wild. And also I took a hot air balloon ride over Letchworth, and parasailing in Mexico, going to the Mayan ruins, going to the Mayan ruins in Mexico, and driving through there and climbing up on the pyramids. And
they were named after Angela Mayo.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the nerve to bring that Angela Mayo thing up again?
Yep.
So that was going there. Any place that's really historic like that, and it just feels like ancient. There's how am I forgetting this? Dust Cave.
That was good stuff.
I did my field school for archaeology at a place called Dust Cave in Alabama, and I exhumed human bones out of a 15,000-year-old human bones from a cave.
How can you do that? The world's only 6,000 years old.
That's true.
No, actually, 1,500-year-old.
Okay.
It was they were Paleo Indians.
And what would you like to do before you die?
I would like to
go see Easter Island? Or?
I'd like to go to Turkey and Greece, and
is Turkey a country?
And swim the English Channel.
Still called
It's
Turkey?
also a bird.
Still called Turkey?
Yeah.
Richard, is it still called Turkey? Okay.
Because there's all kinds
Turkey
of
and Greece.
ruins of ancient civilizations. I'd like to go to Rome. I'd like to see all that stuff. And
Rome's cool.
yeah, I've
Been to Rome?
Yep.
I've been to Paris, which was fun.